نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما
We find that these people were very, very arrogant, and at one point they come to Nabi Nuh and they say to Nabi Nuh, well, if these weak and meek and lowly people were to stop following you, we might consider your message. And Nabi Nuh responds, as is mentioned in the Quran, that should I abandon them for what you say to me? Their God knows what is within their hearts, and maybe they are good people. This is why Nabi Nuh is one of those prominent prophets that is known as the prophet of resolve. The prophet of Islam has been told, persevere, like the Ulul Azam amongst the prophets persevered. Ulul Azam means having a great, great resolve. And we find this, that when somebody has great resolve and perseveres upon that resolve, they normally end up with success and they get what they want. And therein is a secret of life, that try and try again, never give up. And once we show our unwavering resolve, the world begins to yield, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands it to yield to us. Nabi Nuh preached. They started to mock at Nabi Nuh. Nabi Nuh talks about this in the Quran, and he says, "O Lord, I have preached to them openly, I have given them secret counsel." But what they do is, they put their clothes over their heads mockingly, or they plug their ears. What used to happen was that since Nabi Nuh lived such a long life, and people in all probability were living very long lives at that point, but they were procreating in the way that we are procreating, they would tell every generation that, look, this is a madman, don't listen to him, he does not know what he is talking about. The animosity came to a stage where Nabi Nuh says to Allah, "Oh Allah, do not spare any of them now. If you were to spare them, they will not produce anybody but disbeliever and corrupters." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also responds in the Quran and says, Nabi Nuh, now, O Nuh, now none of them will believe in you, save those who have brought faith in you. So now build an ark. This again shows to us that the divine chastisement does not come until a clear distinction has been made between good and evil, and no more good is to ensue. This is also something about Al-Mahdi Salamullah alayh, that the Mahdi will not come until good and evil are distinct from each other and the evil can be wiped out. Nabi Musa also imprecates against his people, and he says to Allah, "O Lord, cause them nothing more than misguidance and now destroy them, because no good is expected of them." Nabi Nuh, at this peak of arrogance and animosity from his people, says to them, "O people, gather all your strength and then decisively act against me. I rely upon my God." He says to them, "I do not tell you that I am an angel, nor do I tell you that I have the wealth of my God, nor do I tell you that I know the unseen. I am fully reliant upon Allah, and I follow nothing but what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells me." At that point, Nabi Nuh is told, "Go to a faraway place and plant trees and irrigate them until they grow." Now here is a question. God could have sent a heavenly ark, but he chooses instead to abide by the causative system of this world. Even though God can overrule the causative system and act within the moment and the instance, and God indeed does do that, because he says he wipes clean whatever he wants and he establishes whatever he wants, and he has the mother of all books. But once God acts something and commits himself to any act, even though that act may not have been integrated within the natural course of event, once the act is committed by God, we will always be able to trace back its causative chain. But in this instance, and in every instance that we see in the Quran, by and large, like the story of Moses, God works within the causative system. Plant a tree, cut them down, build the ark, so on and so forth. He could have destroyed them by merely telling them to die. As he says to the people in Surah Baqarah, those people who came out of their house, وَهُمْ أُولُوفٌ حَضَرَ الْمَوْتِ, in the fear of death. فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ مُوتُوا, and then their Lord tells them to die, and they died. Or Nabi Uzair, he says, "Oh Allah, how will you recreate and resurrect this?" فَأَمَاتَهُ اللَّهُ مِئَةَ عَامٍ, and Allah caused him to die for 100 years. Allah could have willed them to die, but He does not. He instead works with nature. Now this flood that was going to come, the Quran says that the earth oozed water and the heavens poured water. It could have been a natural event destined to occur at that time, something quite natural. And Nabi Nuh, in terms of that timing of that natural event, was told, now plant the trees, then cut them, then build an ark. It is amazing to see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to work with the natural causative system of the earth that He has created, even though He can overrule it. And these are the areas where we stand totally baffled, totally unable to understand the ways of Allah, mystified and perplexed.